Now we've done some brief things, how you handle time in test automation, right? And in particular in Busang using explicit and implicit weights, and also how to use the DOM picker to say, yes, let's wait for this class or whatever, right? There's also a different part of test automation, which is not kind of the automated part, but also the fact that you can use a test tool to point out bugs that a tester sees. So you have basically, we could call it hybrid testing. You have a real tester going in and seeing stuff, but then you want to kind of report this, and instead of filling out, what do you call that, a bug report, steps to reproduce, do this, then do that, you can actually use an automated test tool to do that. So we're going to show how that's being done. So we're going to create a new module called visual bugs. So what we can do here is, of course, we could create a new test. That doesn't really matter. We could do that, but we could also, if we want to, create a bug under the bug module. But I'm going to start by creating a visual test to just illustrate the functionality. So what I'm going to say is, let's call it point out bugs. And this is going to be in the visual bugs. So I think it's called visual bugs. Oh, so I got that wrong. So I'll double click this and I'll just change it right in the URL here. The idea would be that a tester is going through something, right? And here we're gonna illustrate this with a city dweller that is not too familiar with animals, and he made some labeling mistakes. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to record here, and we're going to go, we don't have to bind any data here, so I'm just going to unclick this. So I'm just basically going to click this next function to see what's going on, okay? Well, that's a cheetah. The last thing was an elephant. This is a lion. Leopard, well, this doesn't seem quite right, does it, right? I think he got this wrong, so it's a little bit silly, but what we'll do is we'll just basically put a comment here, and we'll just highlight what's wrong here and say, hey, this should be zebras, or zebra. And then I'll just go ahead and close this, and then again I'll click next. Well, that's a giraffe, that's good. That's a meerkat. But now it says this is a zebra, this is not good. So what I'll do is, either I could create like a validation and I could say, hey, this is wrong, and that would be the automated test. But now instead I'm just going to add a comment and saying this should be leopard, right? And as you can see, because I've created a mistake validation, let's just clean that up. So I'll go back, I'll click close here. I'll delete this one. While I'm recording, it's not a problem, right? And then I can go ahead and just click next again, okay? So and now I hit next 2 times, so again I can clean that up. So now we have a test case, which is more like a, what do you say? Like a guide for a developer. So instead of getting a bug report saying steps to reproduce, we can just basically go through this, and he can again correct a lot of the bugs in any flow. So let's try it. Well, there you see, this should be zebra. He can very easily change this, and there's no need to have any documentation. We can point it out directly in the application, and then you could just basically click next here or click play, and it will continue through the workflow and point out the bugs, and then that's it, right? So this way you can point out bugs directly in the application using this kind of annotation technique.